Today on Reese Dixon, we're making this chain link garland out of ribbon. Hey everybody, it's Teresa with ReeseDixon.com, and I'm here with another ornament tutorial for you for our vintage inspired Home for the Holidays tree. So I did all of this research to find out how people in the 60s, late 50s would have decorated their tree. And along with the tinsel, which we've already got covered, the other thing I found a ton of was paper chains. You know, I used to make them in elementary school all the time. I was still occasionally known to make them for big events that I can't wait to count down for. But these were just paper chains that they used to decorate their tree. And so I wanted to do some kind of an updated version of that would nod to how that used to be done, but done in an updated style. So I went back into my archives and I thought I'd do a version of this chain link garland that I first did years ago and bring it back for this tree. So the first thing I did was get this ribbon. And I really chose this ribbon in particular because I had in my mind like an old-fashioned wool blanket, you know, like something that people would have in the trunks of their cars, and you'd use it as a picnic blanket or throw it over your lap, or even old-fashioned pictures of people in sleigh rides, they'd have this wool blanket on their lap, right? So I wanted this ribbon to kind of be reminiscent of that old-fashioned wool blanket. But instead of just throwing, you know, a blanket on the tree, you had to come up with a way to use it. And I think this chain link does it perfectly. So let me pull out the sewing machine and show you how you can make it too. Here's the ribbon I'm going to be using for my chains, and I've cut it to 10 inches long. I'm going to match the wrong sides together because I'm going to be making a French seam. So unlike your usual way, wrong sides together, right side out. And I'm going to sew this with a 1-inch seam allowance. Now I've got all of these raw edges, and this is what makes it a French seam. This is like the seam that you see on the outside of your jeans, where all of the edges are nicely encased. I'm just going to roll this over once and then twice. So you'll get that nice little package with all the raw edges inside. And then open up my chain. This part, you have to be sure that you're not sewing your chain closed. So when you put it through the machine, you have to scoot the back edge out of the way like that. So I like to just make sure I line up the beginning first, and I'm going to sew as close to that edge as I can. And then once it's in place, kind of pull the back out of the way. So there we go. There's my French seam. Now I'm going to cut off all of these spare threads. And I've made a whole bunch of this section already. So once you get 2 of these, then you can join them. So with the wrong side up, I'm going to thread that through so that my French seams then will be on the inside of my chain. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before, making a French seam, but it'll be with these ones already attached. So it does get a little bit, you have to be a little bit more careful that you're not sewing through anything you don't mean to sew through. But these are big enough that you should have plenty of room to pull them away. Here we go. I got some trimming to do, obviously, but that's the start of our chain, and now I can just add more links to make it as long as I want. My tinsel garland and this chain link garland are the first things that will go on this tree. So I think that those 2 things alone already get us pretty close to fantastic, but I have so many more ideas coming. So I hope that this was inspiring for you, that you'll give it a try and make something this Christmas season. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment down below, and be sure and subscribe so you can see all the rest of the stuff that's going on this tree. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.